defense as far as just the things they're doing. I mean, we're very multiple on offense right now. I don't know how much you'll see in the spring game. We'll probably dumb it down. But they're doing some really good stuff, so I'm happy watching, what we're doing really offensively and defensively.
Are they getting better at fighting through the smoke?
I think so. I really do. I really do. They're coming out and battling, but we won't find out until game day comes when they really. And they're still their teammates are trying to be smart and safe at the same time. So, but I think they are.
Well, along those lines, do you think they're convinced that doing it now will help them when game day comes?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I think kids are smart now. They're a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They knew the winter conditioning was going to make them better. They knew the fourth quarter program was going to make them better. So I think it's just they know the weight room's making them better. So they know the practices and the situations we're putting them in. And today we had another third and short period where your defense, you're going to win maybe 40% of those. You're not going to win them all. You're behind the sticks, and so we're just putting them in tough situations all the time, and in adverse situations, see how they respond.
Are you finding any of those downs to be common things, or repeated? I guess
the downs.
Yeah, as far as you
like
talk about
down?
your ups and downs.
Every day it's something different. I mean, you fix one thing, and something else bursts, and you put your finger on that, and something else comes the next day. So it's always something different. I mean, it's never the same. Because offensively you change and defensively you change, and then the offense worry about protecting a certain blitz, and they protect that blitz, and all of a sudden here comes another blitz, from the other side or from another DB. So every day it's something different. The game of football is simple, but it's also very complex, and I think sometimes you don't realize we probably should have a media clinic. Put on media clinic and
we'll have to hold on this.
Yeah, we should do that. We have but there's a lot to it. Kids are doing a good job.
Do you feel these guys think they're being challenged a little bit more than they have been in the past by you guys?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I wasn't here, so I couldn't tell you.
Are you where you would hope to be 2/3 into the spring?
I think so. I mean, you never sit here and say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, we want to be at a 7 after 10. I mean, you never say that. You just want to keep trying to get better every day, and I believe we are. But you still, who knows? We'll find out.
How important is it to get James more involved in the passing game this year?
It's not a matter of getting James involved in the pass game. It's a matter of just keeping him on the field because he's so good at whatever he wants to be. That's the point. But to me, if he's on the field, if I'm a defensive guy, he's only on the field for runs. That's a tip for the defense. So I think when he's out there for pass, people are going to go, oh, he's not supposed to be out there for that. So I think it's that. And I haven't studied, last year's tape, as I've said before, to find out if that was even the case. I mean, that's what some of the kids had said, and I think maybe you guys had mentioned that.
James Conner mentioned that you've been working with the defense, but not really so much with the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a case, kind of like what you mentioned at your opening press conference about being the coach of the coaches and knowing your strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah. I mean, I watch tape with both staffs, and I'll come down and watch some things, but I know also where I've got to really put the time in and make sure everything's exactly the way we want it to be. And I think, for me not to be able to use my expertise on one side of the ball and at the same time not mess Coach Chaney up, which is not my expertise, I'm smart enough to turn it over to a great staff on offense.
Follow up to my question, is your basic philosophy to challenge these guys? Your coaching staff to really put a lot of demands on them?
Of course it is. I mean, you better put the demands on. The demands will be there later on in September, so you better put them on them now to see what they do.
You mentioned that gap between the offense and the defense. What do you kind of chalk that up to? Is it knowledge or execution?
What is the gap?
You mentioned that the offense was challenging the defense, I guess.
I mean, when I say challenging, the things you're seeing, schematically. I mean, to me, it's a battle back and forth at times. And there's some good plays for both sides, and there's some bad plays for both sides. But schematically, what I'm saying is, you're seeing a pro offense that's also very multiple. Okay, that can be in a one back and do some great things. You guys heard of the pistol? I mean, we've got just about every type of offense you can imagine. And for a defensive coach, it couldn't be a better dream to have an opportunity to not only see a power offense, but also see a spread offense at the same time, and also see a different tempo offense. So I think it's been that's what I meant by challenging them is you're giving them a lot of different looks, which is great.
Oh yeah, sure. I will. Kind of looking at it, the receiver. Obviously, Tyler's coming out of 2 very productive seasons here. Aside from him, what have you kind of noticed from some of the other guys like Zach, guys like Elijah, guys like Dantes?
I mean, all those guys. Ford, Elijah's done a great job, and Dantes is really, probably the number 2 guy at this point. But there's still a lot of ball to play. Chris has done a great job. I mean, they've all you're seeing plays out of, they're getting enough reps. It's not like you're playing with the one offense like in a game and you're seeing some guys sub in. I mean, there's a one offense and a two offense, and you're playing with six receivers. So they're all having those opportunities, and everything will come out in the wash. But I see a lot of guys making plays.
We have a final one before Coach gets to his family. Anything else?
Yeah, as a defensive coach, most of your career, you faced off against a lot of running backs. Where does James rank?
You know what? It's hard because I haven't gone full speed live all the time, but he's a great player. I mean, he's big, physical, and he's got great hands. And I don't know if you could ask for anything else besides that. I guess to be the great evaluation when you get to Saturday afternoons in September and October, November, and watch that guy run. And he's the ACC Player of the Year. I think that speaks for itself.